Social media has been on fire since this video dropped of Mr. Tally Carr from over HBCU Gameday and Mr. Neely over the Pregame show did a sit-down interview discussing some things, as far as his ability to cover Jackson State sports. Well, it kind of left me wondering, and I know it got a lot of you out there trying to figure out, like, what in the world is going on with all this right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. There's a few things that I took away from that interview, and I'm going to share them with you right now, right after this. It's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on in this thing and get straight to it, because I want to emphasize something right now. I did a video before where there's a lot of folks that got upset with Coach talking about, oh, you hate no Coach Prime. Let me break something down to you. I'm not a hater. I don't have to pocket watch nobody. I ain't got to count the time of day of what's going on with somebody else. All I'm concerned with is what's going on over here. We create content to put it out there for everybody to enjoy and get a message from it. But in this instance, I want folks to know that I'm not taking no digs, no swipes, no nothing at nobody. But what I am saying is there's some things in this interview that leave me scratching my head trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Do you not understand that the rules changed once Deion Sanders stepped out the door? So when he moved on to Colorado, y'all know the rules changed. You're playing by the Colorado rules now, not playing by Jackson State rules. But we're going to go ahead and get into a few of these things that they discussed in the video, especially when Mr. Carr stated that being in this space, the YouTube space that is, where you have people that, smaller channels, they tend to attach themselves to bigger channels so that they can go ahead and move themselves forward as far as with trying to build up their program to get to where their other program that they attach themselves to, are later on down the line in the future. Well, in this instance, Mr. Neely, the pregame show, has surpassed HBCU Gameday, in which it was to be expected, because there's a lot of Deion Sanders fans out there that love him for what he did at all of the different stops that he had within the NFL, the Falcons, Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, Baltimore, Washington Commanders. Also, when he played baseball for the Yankees, the Cincinnati Reds, as well as the Braves. So you already know Deion Sanders is a household name, in which that is to be expected. There's nothing wrong with that. I salute you for that, Mr. Neely, on making that move, deciding you want to take your talents and go on the transfer portal and go elsewhere. But there's one thing that you forgot to understand, and that is when you decided that you want to leave away from the university in which your family has a strong foundation within those walls of Jackson State University. Heck, you are an alum yourself from the university. You pay your tithes, you pay your alumni tithes, you donate, you do a lot of different things for the university to try and make things better for that university. I salute you for that as well. That is what we all need to be better at doing when it comes to these HBCUs, because we know that they're heavily underfunded. Now, I know you're like, Coach, where in the world are you going with this? Well, I'm about to tell you right now. When I heard when he got to the part where he stated that his access was shut down, for him to come to the sporting events or whatever have you, you got to understand one thing, sir. You're not representing Jackson State anymore. Not only that, but they're wondering, what is your interest? Where does your interest lie? And be it that there's been some things, and we're going to say allegedly, went on while some people were at some sporting events. It leaves them to wonder, okay, what are we doing here? Yeah, I get, you lending a hand back, wanting to bring folks forward. There's nothing wrong with that either. I applaud anybody. I give you a round of applause for that, for wanting to help someone out to, better their situation. Now, when we look at the brass tacks of things, you have to look at how the university itself felt with the last documentary that was put out about, you know, the last season while everybody was there at Jackson State. You got to think about the commentary and the different shots that's been sent out in different interviews and things that people have said about the university itself and things that have taken place on campus while Mr. Sanders and his family was there on campus, you know, those type of things. But see, the thing is, I'm going to say this right now. Let me get this out the way for you. My mentor, and I'm sure he's watching, Mr. Michael Butler. Hey, I call him Pop. Pop Butler. What's the one thing you always told me? You can't serve two masters. You can't serve two masters. There's no way in the world you're going to be able to draw that line in the sand when it comes to Jackson State and folks saying stuff that is wrong about Jackson State and correct it. People don't stand tall on the very thing that you say you love. I'm not even going to question the fact that you love your university. I'm not going to question that. I'm sure you love it on the inside, but it's business for you on the outside. And guess what? Jackson State got to do business as well. Because remember, not only you decided you want to take your talents and go to Colorado, there's a lot of other folks that decide they want to take their talents to Colorado. I think you said it was like 7 coaches decided. They said, hey, we out. We're going with Deion Sanders. We're going to Boulder. Nothing wrong with that. Elevate. Everybody got to elevate. There's nothing wrong with that. And that was the word y'all used, elevate. Everybody go elevate. You know, folks say the air is so much fresh. The air is so much fresher here. It should be. You're a mile higher up than everybody else. You should be. You know, the water and everything is, hey, man, guess what? We understood all that. But people want to act like the rule. They didn't understand how things went when the information was being put out there to folks. But again, everybody found their own little way to take their digs at Jackson State. While the Jackson State folks, they sat back. They tried to shoot out, you know, a couple of things here and there. But they got to the point saying, you know what? We're just going to fall back. We're going to do what we need to do, which is focus on our program and move this thing forward. The gentleman that was mentioned in the interview, and I can't forget his name because I remember them saying that, how in the world did everybody skip over this guy and go straight to the 1400 Club? Well, guess what, guys? The 1400 Club been out here busting their hump, trying to make sure that the content get out here to the masses concerning what's going on over at Jackson State University. The 1400 Club has been out there making sure that the content, as far as these players being interviewed, things of that nature, got out there to the masses so people knew what was going on over at Jackson State, somewhat similar to what was going on while you guys were there. One thing you got to remember is this. When's the last time the daggone Instagram page was updated? I think that Instagram page is being updated now on the regular compared to what it was being done before. Not only that, but let's look at the stand. Let's look at it from this angle as well. If Deion Sanders Jr. is the head guy that's running social media and doing all of the videos for everybody with Jackson State, he's no longer there. What do you think Jackson State is going to do? Sit back. Oh, my God, they took away the videographer. What are they going to do? Man, they're going to go find somebody else to come in there and do the daggone job. And they found a daggone good guy at that. ASVP Visuals. Come in there. Guess what? They've been at every event for the athletes that have moved on from Jackson State that's hoping to get themselves drafted into the NFL. Some of them were already drafted, going into the USFL, and I don't think the XFL has done anything yet, but they've already been drafted. My point is, all of this complaining that's been going on about you getting content about what's going on with Jackson State, why weren't you at any of those events? Heck, I even went to the Reese Senior Bowl. Why weren't you there covering these athletes? Matter of fact, I give Mr. Tolly Carr, I give him props on something else that he said, to the point where a lot of these institutions do not like for people to come in there with their cameras and record certain things going on. Guess what? There should have been a lot more folks out there at them daggone bowl games for those athletes, for those HBCU athletes, covering their behinds, letting people know, hey, listen, this is what's going on in our program. We have someone over here that's covering us, that's putting the content out there so that people can know for them what to continue to build up the program. But in a lot of instances, it's not happening. It's not happening. And I sit there and I'm scratching my head trying to figure out, like, why? But then it takes me back to the thing with Ed Reed down there in Daytona at Bethune-Cookman. Now, I'm not going to tell you no tale. I'm not going to sit here and say that some of that stuff shouldn't have been exposed. It should have. You know why? Because there's no way in the world a lot of those things that we saw shouldn't be going on with them kids paying that type of daggone money to go to no institution. You got to be kidding me with that. That needs to stop. We sit here and want to treat one another as if we don't belong, if we're not supposed to have, if we're less than. So if we're going to do it to ourselves, how in the world are we going to get upset when somebody else do it to us? And this is not about a them or us type thing, but what it's about is the fact that when you have people that decide that, hey, you moved on. I'm moving on, moving on. You know this song, yeah. You moved on. So now it's like, wait, whoa, I want that whole thing back, girl. I want to come back and see you again. No, the door is closed. And now you're trying to figure out, wait a minute, they're not letting me come in here to do what I was doing before, which was putting the content out there, letting everybody know, hey, listen, these are the things that's going on. Well, one thing is this, why would I, if I'm Jackson, I'm saying as if I'm Jackson State, why would I allow someone to come into my program to cover my program when allegedly, I think I stated this previously, there's been some bad business going on as far as with things inappropriate going on with the athletes as far as conversation that should be had. And I know somebody out there like, Coach, go and tell it, Coach. Don't bite your tongue. Go, no, Coach. Coach ain't getting in the water with it. But I am letting you know it's been told. It's been heard. We've heard it. Just like the whole thing with the documentary, you know, the last Prime documentary. I'll give you an example of that one. Why in the world would you put words in Niles Gaddy's mouth when Niles Gaddy never said anything back? See, the problem I have with that is when you sit and talk about an athlete being a professional, he's a pro. This young man, he's going to go somewhere. He's out there all the time working. I don't have to get on him. The coaches don't have to get on him for him to go work. This young man, he takes it upon himself. He's hard on himself because he wants to do great things out here on his field. He sees where he can go. That's a pro right there. He's going to be a starter this season. He's going to be a starter this season. Something to that effect. And then the last season, you want to trash it? Why? He didn't deserve that. But no one want to tell the part about the coach asked him to go pick somebody up. Was why the reason why he was late. But you screamed on him. I got more instances. I'm not one that's going to nuke bomb this whole thing with a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But like I keep trying to tell everybody, trust and believe. We talk to these athletes. And a lot of times these athletes might be online. They might say whatever. We just sit there. We watch the threads. We watch the feeds going on. See, everybody wants people to shut up. You want to get an NDA, and I'm sorry for saying shut up, but everybody wants folks to be quiet and not speak or say what's on their mind or divulge information that, you know, they feel shouldn't be divulged as far as things that are going on or things that are happening that, you know, you just don't want nobody to know anything about. As I stated before, I salute you for everything that you've done as far as being at Jackson State, your alumni. You know, you donate, you dedicate your time, you do this, you do that. I respect all of that. Your family, everybody's been there dedicating their time over the years. Your family in those walls within Jackson State have done some phenomenal things. I respect that and I salute you for it. Even your children going there, I respect it and salute you for it. But you got to understand one thing. You can't serve two masters. You can't say, hey, I am Jackson State, and then go to Colorado and then want to come back to Jackson State thinking you're going to mix Jackson State business and Colorado business together as if they're one. See, I get the whole play on, well, you know, Coach Prime has said in interviews that if it wasn't for Jackson State, he wouldn't be where he's at. The interviews didn't always start off that way. If I'm telling the tale, please, one of the Jackson State folks touching this thing and let me know that, hey, Coach, you wrong on that. Somebody leave it in the comments, let me know, hey, Coach, you wrong on that. Like I said, my ambition is not to sit here and take no digs at Deion Sanders. I'm glad he got the position as the head coach over at Colorado. But I'm going to say this to you. Just like you're wanting to come get access to Jackson State to cover Jackson State sports, guess what? HBCUs need to see Deion Sanders succeed over at Colorado University. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he wasn't the first to leave an HBCU and go to a Power 5. But I'll say this to you. They're going to be looking at what he does and how well that program runs. And based on what they're giving out and they're getting back, it's going to be where the rubber meets the road. What you mean, Coach? What I mean is, yeah, they went 1-11 last year. They ain't trying to see no 3 or 4 wins this season. They want to see it happen because Deion Sanders had the spring over at Jackson State and was able to go ahead and run undefeated through the SWAC 2 years back to back. But I'm going to say y'all the main ingredient on why that happened. And again, it ain't no disrespect to nobody out there, but we going to put it out there so they understand. Because I want to see exactly what Colorado's going to do this upcoming season. But I say this to you. I'm going to leave with this. Regardless of the fact of how many may feel, and I understand you have a lot of people out there that want you to quench their thirst when it comes down to getting that Jackson State content. But understand, the 1400 Club have gotten out there, putting the information out. Ken Clark, the 1400 Club, all of those guys been out there putting their content out left and right. And now they have ASVP visuals that has been at every event since the season has ended for these athletes, covering them, making sure they get that same love that they deserve, that they were getting while they had that Jackson State uniform on, playing during the season. My question to you, sir, is where were you? Where were you to get out there, get your credentials, and be a part of that? Heck, I went to the daggone Reese Senior Bowl. I should have been at the daggone HBCU Legacy Bowl this week. Shoot, the missus still pissed off with me on that one. Shoot, she ain't even talking to me right now. So, I should have been at that one as well. So I blame me for that. But I'm saying to you, where were you? That's all I'm asking. Where were you? So don't sit here and talk about, well, they're not allowing me to have the access to do X, Y, and Z. Why weren't you there? Why weren't you at the Shrine Bowl? Why weren't you at the Reese Senior Bowl? Why weren't you at HBCU Legacy Bowl? People want things the way they want them. And see, this is why I'm saying to myself now, this is what Jackson State wanted to see happen, was for you to do the very thing that you're doing, complaining that you don't have the access. I'm hoping that they don't say, hey, we're not going to give nobody no access. Please, Jackson State, don't take my access away. I enjoy myself being there in Jackson, Mississippi. I got to get back over there, get me another Staff Burger, and come out there and have me a good time with y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm just saying that. It comes a point in time where you got to understand you can't serve two masters. You can't. There's a lot of bull junk that's been going on, as I stated before. People are not keeping it a buck when it comes down to telling the facts in these interviews. Everybody want to spew their own thing to make it look like one thing. See, it's not like you get to sit and say, oh, yeah, this, that, and the third happened. You know, yeah, we was riding go-karts out there on the field, and Coach Prime came out there and got mad because I burned rubber on the 20-yard line. No. Somebody can go out there and say, okay, yeah, we got a visual of that. But when you got people coming out here saying stuff is happening on the campus that didn't happen in the manner in which they stated, and then don't want to come back and say, hey, man, you know what, my bad. Not, try to move it around however they want to move it around. This ain't no dig at nobody. This is just facts. You don't get to say little slight comments every time about crime or whatever have you that's going on in Jackson, but then we sitting here looking at all this crime going on in Boulder, Colorado. I don't see you popping off about that. I'm just saying. So again, you got to understand the fact that just like Colorado's a business, so is Jackson State. Jackson State is running their business how they feel they need to run it. They're putting the people in place to continue to keep moving this thing forward. The only problem is you don't have the access. You took your access away. You did that. Like I said, you love Jackson State in the manner in which you do, you should have stood up for them when you had a chance to. Regardless of the fact that you took your talents and went elsewhere, you should have stood up for them when you had a chance to. Make a comment, make a post, do something. If you love something in the manner in which you say you love it, stand on it. Regardless of the fact of regardless of the fact of who you're doing a job for, because they should still have the respect for you to say, you know what, I gotta respect the fact that you stood 10 toes down on your feelings based on where you come from. But that's just me talking. But you got to understand, you may feel it's not fair. Or is it true? But again, you can't serve two masters. When everybody decided they wanted to leave and go to Boulder, Colorado, you slid on up in there on the Oski Loski. Nobody knew you was gone until they finally got that clean glimpse of you at that basketball game. Nobody knew who that guy was until they finally got that clean glimpse, that clear glimpse of you. And you didn't have on the Jackson State hoodie no more. You had on the Boulder, Colorado hoodie. And you know those folks, you know how your people are. You know how your Jacksonians are. They sitting there looking like, wait a minute, you didn't do this. I'm just saying. But you know what? I hope all works out for you. But again, we got to understand, sometimes the decisions that we make can be costly. And now they're going to find out just how much you really love Jackson State based on how you move if they don't give you your credentials back to come cover a game or whatever have you. Like I said, it ain't cool to see people try to railroad stuff that's going on that don't quite make sense. But, and I'm not saying you, and all of this is alleged. But I am going to say the stories is out there. And we know whose shoulders to go tap on to get the information. But we got to do better than what we're doing. But Coach's going to get on up out of here, guys. Like I said, I don't know. I'm hoping HBCUs don't take their access away from us to get in there and do the things that we love to do to produce these stories about the different athletes and things that they have going on. We just got to clean up our bad habits and things that we've been doing over time, thinking that things are going to continue to keep going in the manner in which they were going, in which they don't understand times have changed. Times have changed, people have changed, and we got to do better. But guys, Coach going to go ahead and get up on out of here. But until next time, be the one and lead.